What's up, people? It's your boy T-Reps bringing you another KAS'LAM TV exclusive. And vandaag I've got the ever so talented, sexy, and gorgeous Ambitiouz own first lady, LaSauce. I'm good. Since this is a KAS'LAM TV, first things first, I want to give you a chance to give us a brief intro of KAS'LAM.
Alright, I'm LaSauce. My real name is Sindisiwe Magoso. I was born and raised in KZN. I went to school in a small village called Umzindo, and that's basically where I started Uklanipa. That's how I call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm in South Coast, the Umzindo, with a family, a small family, and well, my family is very small. And I went to a Muslim school, so I didn't have like a normal teenage lifestyle.
Yeah.
For me, a lot of things were different. My surroundings were different. Like, majority of my life was different until obviously I signed to Ambitiouz Entertainment and things just started getting better.
Yeah. Interesting. You mentioned that you went to a Muslim school. Like that's unknown for our Basikas. Like, how did that come about?
So and I'm sure I'm very strict.
Yeah.
So I remember me asking her one day, why do you want to put me into a Muslim school? Because I also wanted to wear, short skirts, go to a normal, school.
Yeah.
And she was like, you know what? I was also once your age. You're gonna grow up to be a beautiful young lady, and I can't take that chance with you because she's an adult and she knows what goes down in these places, and she was just like, I don't want you to mosh out your future. Rather you go to a Muslim school, a much more and discipline.
Yeah, that's true.
And that was one of the reasons why she put me into a Muslim school, discipline-wise, and just the lifestyle, Even music, me choosing music when I was 18, it was hard because with Islam, Muslim people, it's prohibited, it's totally forbidden.
Yeah.
So it was amazing though, because today as a 21-year-old, I sit and look at life in a different eye.
Yeah.
And for me, it's been an amazing journey.
Yeah. Now, what are some of the principles that you took from that upbringing, especially going to a Muslim school, and actually you ran with them in terms of your own personal life as well as your career?
I would definitely say growing up in an Islamic environment taught me a lot of things. Like I mentioned earlier on, managing discipline, managing the way they look at life or approach life is totally different from the regular.
Yeah.
And for me, being able to be firm today in who I am, I remember being signed at 18 and today I'm 21. Even when I left home, people were like, because I was just so young. And who knows what's going to happen in Ekoli. But when I came here, I actually saw my upbringing kind of contributed so much to who I am today and how I stay grounded. Because for all I know, an 18-year-old coming here, your first check is 10K, you're gonna go bizarre.
Yeah.
But for me, I think I was much more grounded, and all thanks to my background, my upbringing, and for me, it's just been amazing.
So, like religiously, do you follow Islamic views?
I just went to a Muslim school simply because of the lifestyle.
Yeah.
I fell in love with it somehow.
Yeah.
I fell in love with it to such a point that I started becoming an expert in their religion.
Yeah.
But obviously, being who I am and believing in my God and what I believe in God.
Yeah. No, thanks for that. And let's move on to the music now. For most of us, like me, you blew up I Do featuring Amanda Black, and you took over the game and you ran with it, and we loved you from there. But you were pushing before that. So for someone who doesn't know the story of your journey, just give us a brief historic lesson and how did you blow up and how did you link up Ambitiouz Records?
LaSauce started years ago. The first time though I discovered my music talent is when I was 8 years old. So I used to listen to a lot of Brenda Fassie, your Rihanna's, who's this? I will label my
Yeah.
So I was always around music. I was inspired by music. And obviously when I went to school, it was a different story because music is prohibited, or entertainment as a whole is prohibited.
Yeah.
So it was really hard for me to balance my talent, my passion with the life that I'm living then. But as time went by, I remember I got into high school and I wrote my first song for my best friend. She had a crush on a boy rather, and then I decided to make a song for her.
Yeah.
And I think that's the first time I realized, yo, I really got this,
Yeah.
The fact that I can even write a song, I got this. And I think a year from then, I recorded my first ever single. It was called Independent, Benki Jalela Studio, like Nkuli Nabafani Kaya. So we were just chilling, playing music, and I was like, oh, actually, let me just try something.
Yeah.
And I'm a very reserved person. So me jumping on that idea or whatever, when it came out, even I was shook. I was like, wait, hold up, is this me? Because I was overwhelmed, rather. I didn't know I had that, talent.
Yeah.
But obviously, after the first track I did, Independent, things started working out in different ways. But when I got discovered, it took me a week. I know it's hard to believe, but it took me a week after I had recorded the first track, Independent. I didn't even have social media, but I downloaded social media. I remember being to a library, and I posted my link on Facebook, and within a week I had a contact. And they're like, yo, what is it that you want to do? I remember that question so well because I was just like, what are you talking about? And the thing is, if you don't know the entertainment industry well, you just like,
yeah.
So you ask me one question, like, where do you see yourself? What it is that you want from this, talent of yours? And I was just like, I just want people to enjoy my music.
Yeah.
And from there, I remember Ambitiouz Entertainment in the picture, and the rest is history.
Yeah. And speaking of people like enjoying your music, you dropped Broken Lipstick. I mean, it took over. It's been a couple of years since that dropped. Like, how has your life changed since the drop of your debut album?
My debut album, actually that's my first baby. That's how I refer to it as. Broken Lipstick has been amazing. The journey, the response, the love I've been getting, it's been amazing. It's my first project, I remember very well. Working on that project was really hard because, like I said, I was very young, 18 in the entertainment industry. I don't know anybody. I don't know anything about music apart from what I like.
Yeah. So
there was so much that I had to adapt to, and it was very hard because I came from a totally opposite environment.
Yeah.
Maybe if I had come from a normal environment, I was going to catch along much more easier. But for me, it was challenging. But Broken Lipstick has been the best body of work that I listen to all the time. Because every time I listen to it, I can tell my mistakes. I can tell my growth when I listen to my music today.
Yeah.
So honestly, Broken Lipstick is my trophy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And personally, after Broken Lipstick, I actually started following you, and you dropped Emma Finn, then you dropped Njalo. I actually love both of those tracks. And I was thinking to myself, maybe an album is due, and bang, you just dropped an album, Sindisiwe. Tell me about that.
Sindisiwe is my second album. It's a self-titled album. My real name is Sindisiwe, which means saved. Saved by love, you know. The album is a beautiful, vibrant Afro-pop album. I think the best part for me of the album is working with different producers. I'm not gonna lie, the production was the best part of working on that project.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's been the best part is because Sindisiwe is a very personal kind of album, very honest, very vulnerable on that body of work. And I think I admire that about myself because, you know, when you write music, sometimes you tend to hold a few things back because you don't want to sound, you know, out of line.
Yeah.
But with that album, I realized that I was very vulnerable. I was very honest, and I think that on its own just makes this one of my best projects also, because working with different producers from South Africa, producers from Germany, all around the world basically. I've worked with almost everybody, and the outcome was beautiful.
Yeah.
I was not expecting it, simply because there was so much of challenges while making the album. The lockdown was out. There was a lot of emotional nights also, sleepless nights in the studio. Some of the songs are just beyond my explanation, I'm not gonna lie. And my producer knows better, because he's seen me break down in front of the mic, and he's just like, wait, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm fine. But it's a powerful project.
Yeah.
Not only for me, but for anybody who listens to it, because with my music I always strive to make people relate, make people inspired, and I think by me telling a story, which is something I always strive to do in my music videos, in my music, always being able to tell a story that people can relate to is my aim. And with this album, I feel like it's going to touch a lot of hearts in and around South Africa, literally the whole world. I have fans abroad that are just like, whoa, your songs are amazing. And the fact that they don't understand, but they feel it, for me, it's just hit the mark.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you actually mentioned the whole writing process, because I've always wanted to know, like, for different artists, I mean, you put out your whole life and your emotions, a lot of you in it. Like, does it ever cross your mind, maybe I shouldn't reveal this about myself? I mean, what goes on in your head when you write?
I'm not gonna lie, that happens a lot,
yeah.
a lot. Like I mentioned earlier on, I'm a very reserved person. I'm very honest, and I realized in this time in life, so sometimes when I sing about the truth, it's just like, yeah, I don't want to,
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I guess it's all about just being who you really are, irregardless of what people say, what people think. And for me, I think I was still on the journey of fully discovering myself and fully being confident with myself, because as much as I'm very reserved, I'm trying to be comfortable in who I am, and I just hope people really love me and enjoy my music for what it is.
Yeah. I don't think there's a creative out there who doesn't have a bit of confidence in themselves.
Honestly, like,
yeah.
And actually, I'm glad you asked about that, because in my music, I have different ways of making music depending on my mood, depending on the weather, depending on anything, rather, depending on the color of lipstick I'm wearing that day.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so, it's crazy really, because I remember the other time I was in the studio, and I was recording something, and my producer was like, you're taking a little too long, because I remember I was playing this beat for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And you're taking a little too long. And my reply to him was like, I'm just trying to channel the right LaSauce for this song. Because you can get a R&B beat or a hip-hop beat, but what I bring out of the song, I try and channel myself. Do I want to be the lovey-dovey LaSauce, or do I want to be the, yo, we going in LaSauce, or do I just want to tell a story, like, be a mellow storyteller? And it takes time really. Music production is a job, I'm not gonna lie to you, and honestly this album Sindisiwe has made me realize that.
Yeah. And like, what are some of the pressures that come with following up an album? I mean, what separates Sindisiwe from Broken Lipstick?
Okay, I think Sindisiwe, like I mentioned, is much more personal, and I think that's why I went with the title Sindisiwe, because I was telling a story that is mine, mostly inspired by things that I have personally been through, or things that inspire me in general, like life. And I usually sing about stuff that my friend would come to me and talk about it, and I'm just like, oh, I can put that into a story, because you're not the only one that goes through that. And I think with Broken Lipstick and Sindisiwe, it's just about being able to show people and tell people that you're not alone. We all go through the same situations, but it's definitely how you deal with it that's different.
And you dropped Muffin, you dropped Njalo, you dropped Sindisiwe with the album, which is still fresh. fresh. Are you thinking about moves going ahead, or you're just focusing on the album right now and more music videos?
Well, yes, Emma Fini and Jado already have music videos. They're doing totally amazing. People are loving it. And obviously, like I said, with my music videos, I love telling a story. And a lot of people used to complain about this. Yeah, we know your music, but we don't know your face because we don't see you on your music videos. And I'm just like, it's the music that matters. Yes, I know you don't want to see my pretty face, but I always try and tell a story in my words, in my visuals, in the way I live, to inspire anybody out there. And honestly, for me, that's just the main thing about being a musician. Just being able to inspire the world.
So going forward, like, what are you focusing on right now?
Now that I've dropped Sindisiwe, it's doing amazing. I have billboards almost everywhere. I'm sure you've seen one coming here.
Ambitiouz doesn't play around, man.
I have big plans. I mean, as a 21-year-old, I'm still young, I'm beautiful, I'm powerful. There's so much I still want to do. There's so much that I'm still going to do. I'm a creative. So anything and everything is possible. I'm not gonna lie. And in life in general, anything and everything is possible.
And like with the lockdown and the whole COVID-19 situation, I mean, it's limiting everyone's careers, everyone's moves, and everyone's plans, and like had to adjust and change somewhere like when the album, I'm pretty sure it was always part of your plans for 2020.
It was,
but did you have to adjust to certain things or change certain strategies to actually make it happen?
I did have to change a few dates, like postponed it a few times. My fans were complaining because it's been a while since I've dropped a body of work. And people were like on my back, like my fans were like, we need new music. So as much as I tried to postpone it a few times, but I just couldn't bear it anymore. And I had great music. I was like, we need to drop this music. And for me, what justified this whole lockdown thing, I was just like, everybody has time. And the music that I'm serving is music that is soul soothing. So wherever you are, whether you're home, you're at work, or whatever situation you're in, even if you're in pain, even if you're doing but listening to the album kind of soothes you. Not only the words, but the voice also. Like, it's a great album. Like, you should check it out.
And I was actually playing it in the car on my way, so it's actually a beautiful album. I love it. So post-lockdown, I mean, like I said, a lot of things are limited with this lockdown situation, and you can't perform, you can't do this. So post-lockdown, what are your immediate plans? Like the very first things you want to do as soon as the president, as I know as in Buyelan?
Honestly, I'm going in. I'm doing everything and anything that I've always dreamed of. I'm going for all my goals. But definitely spending more of my creative time in the entertainment field. Like, as LaSauce, I think that's why it's LaSauce. Because I have a little bit of everything in my personality. So music is just my passion. But there's so much of other talents, hidden talents that I have. I can sing, I can dance, I can act. So I think after the lockdown, it's going to be a time of just going ahead and doing everything that I had planned.
Now, thanks actually for giving us your time. And sorry guys, we were late for those who don't know. She was pretty mad. We appreciate the interview, and we really hope that the album does as well, even better than Broken Lipstick. You're still young, you've got a lot to offer good industry, and we appreciate that South Africans or South Africa can actually have such young stars and groom them to become superstars and legends. For your fans out there, someone who's like looking to maybe follow in your footsteps, or maybe not in the music industry, but whatever career they want to pursue, and they feel like, I don't know where to start. Like, I don't have the resources, I don't have the money, all I have is the skills. What should I do?
Shoot, I'm just going to say a story before this. You know, when you have an idea or a concept or a plan and you hold yourself back because you look, you don't have the resources. Honestly, that is not the problem. Because I was in the same situation, I think, last week. I was like, oh, I want to start this business so bad, but I don't have the resources. I don't even have a partner to start with. What do I do? And deep down, I was just like, it's my passion and I want it. So whatever it is, God will always make a way.
Yeah.
So if you really want something, it's always about how much you want it. Not about the fact that you want, but how much you actually put yourself out there.
Yeah.
So for anybody who has a dream or a passion or anything that they want to do, don't worry about the negative stuff. Worry about the positive stuff. Whatever you have to kickstart you that very moment, just do it, and everything else will fall into place.
Yeah. I was well and out for it. All you gotta do is just do it. There's nothing that beats actually putting it into action. I mean, if you have faith, if you have the skills, if the talents, the dreams, the ambitions, all you gotta do is do it. Thanks for joining us today.
Pleasure is mine.
Any last words?
Well, since it's Miss Fazani, to all the beautiful queens out there, you are beautiful, you are strong, you are powerful.
Yeah, you hear it from LaSauce. Happy Women's Month, everyone. And from your boy T-Raps and KAS'LAM, we stay giving you the content, so peace out.